Hello friends, I'm Charlotte. I am a mum of 3, ages 1, 4 and 7, and last week we were snowed in and it was fun with a capital F. If you've ever had a rainy day that was unexpected or been snowed in, you know what it's like. You suddenly got to entertain your children with whatever you've got lying around. So I thought I would share with you my top go-to things to do when you're unexpectedly snowed in or have a rainy day and you're stuck at home. They're in no particular order. They're literally just in the order they popped into my head. So don't take that as, this is number 1 and this is the most rubbish activity. Okay, let's dive straight in. Number 1. This is slightly messy, as a few of these are, but kids enjoy it. It's to decorate a biscuit. So I always have in the cupboard plain biscuits, digestives, rich tea, something like that. And you can easily grab, when you're in the supermarket, writing icing pens and some sprinkles. I keep a box, you can tell it's well loved, of bits and bobs for doing this. So sometimes we get those gingerbread kits at Christmas time and they come with their own little writing icing in it. So I'll keep the writing icing when it's nearly done. And if you get them like this and they're looking a little bit hard to use for little hands, I get a cup of warm water, pop them in the cup and leave them for a couple of minutes and it softens it, and then they're much easier to write with. It's a really great fine motor skill activity and it doubles as snack time. The mess level depends on what sprinkles you put out. So if I'm feeling adventurous, I will let them have sprinkles with a lot of tiny bits in. And if I have got very little battery left to deal with that, I will choose something more like this, where they're kind of big sprinkles and easy to pick up afterwards. The kids love it. And if you've got older ones that you're struggling to keep engaged with it, I usually give them a little challenge like, can you make a biscuit that looks like your granny? Or can you make a biscuit that looks like a picture of a boat on the sea? And then that keeps them a little bit more occupied because they've got something to do that's a little bit more directed. Sometimes my eldest struggles with anything that's just open and creative, so having a little bit of direction really helps her. So if you've got a kid like that, that's always a good option. Number 2, the floor is lava. This is an oldie but a goldie. Your living room will be trashed, but the kids will have great fun. It's great for gross motor skills. It helps with balance and coordination. You can make it a teamwork game, strand their favourite teddy at one side of the room and be like, you've got to get across to rescue them without touching the floor. You can just use cushions off the couch. That's super easy and super fun. We actually have some of these in our house. I picked them up off Amazon ages ago. I will put a link in the description. It will be an affiliate link, so if you do shop through it, that does help the channel and support us, and that would be amazing. I would be very grateful. It doesn't cost you anymore, but it means that we get a little bit of something for making these videos, and every little helps. These are great. They're kind of like a hard polystyrene. I was a bit worried when I ordered them that they were going to be a bit rubbish, but we've had them for a few years now. They've been inside and outside. They still look brand new and they're really handy. So the kids use these as their stepping stones. Because they're curved, they've got to use a little bit more core muscles to balance on them. And you can turn them this way up as well, and they can try and step on them this way up. Not advisable on a hard floor because they do slip, but on carpet it's not too bad. But you don't need anything like that. You can just use your pillows off your couch or the pillows off the bed. Kids just have great fun. And you can always time them as well, getting across. It's a really great option. Number 3 is puppet shows. We don't have anything fancy. We don't have a puppet theatre or anything like that. We literally have 2 puppets, and I managed to find them in our house. This one is a dog with very large eyebrows and a moustache. He's very cute. And he's in a kilt with a sporran because we live in Scotland and he is just adorable. I mean, what's not to love about him? I just think he's gorgeous. And we have this one, which was from IKEA years ago. This one has probably been my kid's favourite, to be honest, because he's really fun, and because he's got the mouse on his head, it's quite funny. You can sort of make up stories about, there's no mouse on my head. Oh yes, there is. Oh no, there isn't. Kids love that. But anyway, they're the only puppets we have. So what I tend to do is stick them behind the sofa. So that's their stage. Give them a handful of soft toys and the 2 puppets that we have, and tell them, off you go, make up a story. Sometimes they need a little bit of direction, so you can always give them some prompts. Maybe somebody needs to go to a shop or somebody needs to get new shoes. If you're super crafty, you could even find some old socks and some buttons or whatever is lying around, and a needle and thread if you've got slightly older kids, or even hot glue, and make your own puppets before you do the puppet show, so you can make this activity last even longer. And they could, again, make puppets of family members, friends, or whatever they choose. It's always quite a fun seeing what they think people look like and how crazy they can be. Number 4 is YouTube. Yes, I know it's screen time, but we all need a 5-minute break and we all need a coffee, and we just need them to not be touching us for a couple of seconds so that we can actually feel like a human being again and not just all touched out. So if you struggle with screen time as a concept, you could always make this into sort of a PE lesson. So you can always put on an old Joe Wicks PE lesson from lockdown, or you could put on, we've really enjoyed recently, if you just Google Elf Run in YouTube Kids, it brings up this sort of gamified experience where the kids have to sort of run and dodge candy canes and jump over presents, and they're trying to reach Santa, and then they think they're keeping the TV working by running. It only works with little kids, obviously. Like, once your kids get past a certain age, they're not going to believe it, but it's a really good option. My kids have asked for the Elf Run to be on every single day through the Christmas holidays and then into January. So they don't mind it's the same one they're watching every single time. They've really enjoyed it, and it gives you a good kind of 5-10 minutes just to not be touched, which is sometimes really, really helpful. Number 5 is musical statues or musical bumps, or Simon Says. I pull out these birthday party favourites when I need to sit down and my kids need to get their energy out. So you can sit there, put some music on your phone, press play, they're getting some movement and getting the wriggles out, and you get to sit down for just a minute. So that's quite a nice, easy one. Number 6 is a treasure hunt or find me something, depending on what age your children are. If they're a little bit older and they're learning to read, doing a treasure hunt can be really helpful. You can go on Pinterest, and if you've got a printer, you can print out little pre-made sheets of clues, like find me in the bathroom, or I'm where you keep your food cold. And then they're sort of solving a clue, having to do a little bit of reading comprehension and moving from place to place. And that's quite fun. If they're a little bit younger and they're maybe not reading yet, you can say, find me something red, and then ask them to come back with something red. So they're learning their colours. Or you could say, find me something square, and then they could be learning their shapes. And you can give them hints and things along the way. Depends on your child whether they'll be interested in this or not, but treasure hunts in our family usually go down pretty well. Our children always get more involved and find things like this more interesting if there's a grand mystery prize at the end of it. So that could be a banana, or it could be a Christmas cracker toy that they'd forgotten existed that I've shoved on the top shelf of the kitchen cupboard. Any piece of nonsense, a pen that they're not normally allowed to write with and they're getting to draw a picture with it afterwards. Anything like that. You know, you're not spending money, you're finding something from around your house. Number 7 is dress up or role play. I don't know about you, but my house is full of dressing up kit, and my kids have all sorts of different outfits. We've got, I don't think it fits me, a fireman. We have got police. We've got, I don't know what this, I think this was originally a pirate hat, but I don't really know. Could be a highwayman, I don't know. But role play is really good. It can help them to support their social interactions. They can role play situations they've maybe been in, or things that are likely to come up in the future, maybe starting school, or going to a friend's birthday party, anything. It's a really fun, no pressure way for them to learn about social interaction. And there's some really easy ones to set up. If you don't have a kitchen or anything like that at home for your kids, don't worry. Just grab some tins and packets out the cupboard that you're not worried if they get dented or a bit bashed, and give them. Tell them they're a shopkeeper. Give them a couple of 2p pieces, and that's their money, and they can spend it. And then the other child or you are the shopkeeper, and it can go on for quite a long time. Or another one they really like is if you give them a colander and a whisk, and they can be cooking you up some dinner. You don't have to have loads of stuff in your house. You can use what you've already got. You don't even have to have costumes. You could make them. You could grab your own apron out of the cupboard and give your child your apron, or if you work somewhere that has a uniform, letting them wear your uniform. That can be really fun as well. Number 8 is an obstacle course. A similar kind of idea to the floor is lava, but you can make them go sort of over the sofa or under the table. You can set it up as big or as little as you want. And again, I find with our children, this is about branding. So if you brand this like family name, like if your surname's Jones, so this is the Jones Family Ninja Warrior Assault Course, then they get really excited. And if you're excited, they're excited. And then you can always grab your phone, put a stopwatch on and time them going around the assault course. You could, if you've got older ones, you could get them to set up the assault course for the younger ones. It can be really, really fun. Just make sure if there's any jumping off things, that there's no sharp corners in the way and there's a soft landing, because we have 2 boys and they don't always follow the rules and they tend to go their own way. So with caution, obstacle course, assault course can be quite fun. You can also make this into a team sport, so they could do it like a relay race. So if you're struggling with siblings squabbling all the time, like I know our children squabble 100% of the time, making something into a team sport can kind of help them work together and figure out that they need to actually get along and not just be grumpy with each other, especially when they've been stuck in the house together for a week like we were when we were snowed in and everyone was getting a little bit of cabin fever and tempers were getting frayed. Number 9 is build a den. So super easy again. You can literally, build a den in your living room with blankets slung between the sofas and stick some pillows on the floor, and the kids love it. We actually have this kit we picked it up on Amazon. Again, I'll link it below. Again, it's an affiliate link, so if you shop it, it certainly helps us and we'd be very grateful. But do not feel the need to bring more stuff into your house. If you have something that works already, or you just want to use what you've got, perfectly fine. But this one has these kind of plastic tubes with these sort of balls with holes in that attach on. They have got, I don't know if you can see, they've got little arrows on the top of them. That's the one that you've got to make sure it's facing the ceiling. And then you can kind of join them together in any direction and you can build dens with them. So it's another little sort of STEM activity, so they can kind of start to learn about structure and building. They're great, but you've got to just be a little bit aware that they are kind of, they can bend and get broken, and they do sometimes pop out when you're in the middle of building the next bit on. So probably for older children rather than younger children. Although my 4-year-old is the one that's obsessed with these, and he has been for at least a year. So, but he's a bright cookie. I don't think my eldest would have been that bothered at that age. So it just depends on the child. But you do not need this. You can just use pillows or blankets, sling them between the sofa, make a den. Kids love a den. They can set it up, have a tea party in it, watch a movie. Again, you might get 10 minutes to have a coffee. Always bonus. Number 10 is give them a cardboard box. We've all got cardboard boxes sitting in the garage or the shed or wherever you keep your cardboard boxes. I know that I do. I am very guilty of ordering half my life on Amazon. So we've always got a cardboard box around. The bigger the better. And I literally just throw it in the living room and let them have a free-for-all. They have decorated it like a bus. They've stabbed holes in it. They've sat in it. They've been a jack in the box. I tend to try not to give them too much direction with it and just see what they do. But they will, ideally you'd have 3 boxes, so they've got 1 each for my 3 children, but sometimes I've only got 1 that's big enough to play with. So I just throw it in. Sometimes there's squabbling, sometimes there's not. But they just love a box. I don't know, they get obsessed with boxes. If your kids are a bit older and past the just playing with the box stage, you could give them a little bit of direction. Can you make the box into a boat, or can you make the box into a robot? You know, what can they do with it? Maybe give them some other bits of recycling to tape on and make it into something. It's always quite a fun sort of activity. Number 11 kind of leads on from number 10, and this is easy STEM activities. My go-to is build a bridge. And usually it's build a bridge that can take the most weight for a grand mystery prize. And the grand mystery prize might be, you get to choose what we're having for dinner, or you can have pudding before you have dinner. That's always a winner. So you can just use whatever you've got lying around. You could either just throw a heap of recycling at them, like we did with the cardboard box, and say, here's some sellotape, here's some recycling, build a bridge out of this. Whatever one holds the most tins out of the cupboard wins. Or if you've got Legos or Duplos, or we've got play mags kicking around, then they can build it out of whatever you've got. Oh, the name of these just went right out of my head. Play mags. I love play mags. I'll link them as well. But they are handy, but do not be buying anything for it. They're as happy using recycling as they are using something you've already got. Sometimes that's half the challenge. And if you've got older kids that are getting a bit grumpy with it, you can always make it a race against the clock challenge. So you've got 20 minutes to build your bridge, and at the end of that we'll test it. And it's a really good kind of STEM activity for them. And again, fine motor skills as well for the younger ones. Another really fun STEM activity is build a paper aeroplane, and whichever one flies the furthest wins. This is one that my daughter made this morning. She has put some lovely little tears in it for aerodynamics apparently. But yeah, it's a really fun little activity, and as long as they've got a grand mystery prize, which again, we're not spending money on, it's literally a piece of rubbish from the cupboard or whatever they're going to get for a snack anyway. And my kids go mad for it, absolutely mad for it. Number 12 is screen time again, but it's Cosmic Kids. I love Jamie. God bless that woman. She deserves a damehood. She has saved my bacon more times than I can count. Cosmic Kids is on YouTube, and it is great for your children. If you just need a moment, if they're high as kites and you need to bring them back down, putting on a Cosmic Kids. She does yoga, she does mindfulness, she does some breathing, she does some kind of yoga disco parties with the most irritating songs, but the kids love it. Just pop her on, get them doing it. They're moving their bodies, they're having that kind of mindful moment as well. It brings my kids back down to earth, and they love her. God bless Jamie. Thank you for your service, woman. You are amazing. Number 13 is another oldie but goldie. It is hide and seek. Obviously, it depends on what age your children are as to how long you can leave them before you find them. But again, you can get a coffee while you're doing this. So if you are the seeker and you say to your children, go and hide, you could maybe take 5 full minutes before you find the child hiding in plain sight in front of the curtains who thinks he's camouflaged because he's wearing the same colour as the curtains are. Just saying, you can do that. You're the adult. But yeah, hide and seek, great one. Really great. Number 14 is a quick craft. Again, it can be as messy or as not messy as you want it to be. It could be as simple as learning to fold paper, learning to use scissors. Yes, that takes a little bit of, you have to be there and supervise when they're that age. Or it could be as messy as you want. You could do finger painting. You could do, where you paint one side of the paper and you fold it in half and it's like a butterfly. You could do that. You could you could make it as messy as you want. Pasta necklaces. What else is nice and easy? Making a shaker from, everybody's got lentils in the back of their cupboard that they're never going to eat, and then find an old container like a empty Pringles tube or something, and put the lentils in and make a shaker, and then they can decorate the outside of it with fancy pens or sell it, fancy tapes and whatever you've got lying around. And then they've got their own musical instrument, and they can form a band and become the next K-pop demon hunters, whatever they want to do. Or elastic bands around an old tissue box and make a little guitar with it. There's loads of choices. Pinterest is your best friend for this. Make it as messy or as not messy as you want. Use whatever you've got in and just have fun. Number 15 is going to be controversial. It is makeovers. Yes, this is not for the faint of heart. My children love nothing more than giving each other makeovers. I gave them some old makeup brushes and an old palette from, well, you can see how, I mean, I don't think I've shopped in Claire's Accessories in many years. I don't want to say how many. But yeah, so an old palette, and they just enjoy putting on the most garish colours and making themselves look delightful. They never apply it like makeup. They're always, you know, trying to draw lion faces on themselves, or unicorn horns on their foreheads, or flowers on their cheeks and things. So they're really creative. It's a really creative thing. If you've got face paints, you could do face paints instead. If you're really wanting some parent brownie points, you could let them give you a makeover. I have never been that brave yet, I will have to say that. But yeah, letting them dress each other up, put a little bit of makeup. You could even just give them empty palettes and let them pretend, you know, if they're really little, and old makeup brushes, and letting them put some hair clips in their hair. They have a great time. If you've made it this far, thanks so much for staying with me to the end. I would love to hear what your go-to activities are, especially if they don't involve buying anything and they're things that you've got just lying around the house. I hope this was helpful in some ways. I know when we were snowed in, I suddenly had this mad panic of, oh, I have to entertain my children now. And somehow, something about knowing that we couldn't go out, even though we probably wouldn't have gone anywhere anyway, put the pressure on. So I thought I'd try and make this just in case you're in the same situation and you have that mad panic and think, somebody help me. I need a quick list of things I can pull out the cupboard and do to stop them from killing each other and World War III breaking out in my house, because that's kind of what happens by tea time most days anyway. If you've made it this far, please like and subscribe. I will try and do some more videos like this if you found it helpful. Please give me feedback in the comments. I'm still new on YouTube, so constructive criticism always welcome. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye!